A very warm welcome to StudyIQ. I am Prashant Mavani. I hope you're all doing good, my dear friends. Today I have got two special topics for you guys. The first one is about air conditioners. Now you'd be thinking why air conditioners are important. Yes, they are important, and our focus is going to be more on disruption. The second topic, let me quickly introduce all of you to second topic. Second topic is going to be INS Arihant. We are going to go through some specifications and why INS Arihant is important for us. We are going to talk about it as well. Now on your screen you can see a person. His name is Richard Branson. He is quite famous person around the world, right? He's famous for his business called Virgin. He is in this aeroplane business. He is in music. There are other businesses as well. He's a big tycoon, and the reason why he's famous is not because he is rich, but the reason why he is famous is because he has created a disruption in various different fields. And disruption is something that is need of the hour as far as our air conditioners are concerned. We are going to talk about its climate change impact and why ACs are becoming important and things associated with it. But disruption is something that has always played a very important role, particularly those disruptions that were invented and later on innovated and introduced in market with a sort of I would say with a good thought. Those innovations, those disruptions have helped us, like from horse cart to cars, from typewriter to computer, right? We have seen so many disruptions in our past, in our history, and there are some disruptions that are going on, and there are a few places where we need disruptions. I have some more examples, but before that, can I quickly introduce all of you to our pen drive and tablet courses that are designed by best faculties of our country. They are available on StudyIQ.com. To find out more about it, do check out StudyIQ.com. If you want to check out demo lectures, it's available on our portal. If you have any question or queries, feel free and give us a call on the numbers that you can see on your screens. Now let me take you through some more examples of disruption. Mobile banking in Africa. Take example of Kenya. Kenya was in news, particularly when this demonetization was executed in our country. And remember, at that point of time, we were talking about this cashless or less cash economy. And Kenya is a very good example. I'm not sure how many of you are aware about this thing, but 85% plus transactions in Kenya, right? Overall, all transactions in market, out of that 85% are executed using mobile phones or mobile banking. It's quite famous in African countries, particularly in Kenya. And because Kenya was not having that many branches, traditional banks were not there, and after the introduction of mobile phones and mobile services and later on mobile banking, right, it has literally jumped from few branches, from few traditional banks. Now at present, millions of Kenyans, they are using this mobile banking. They don't need traditional banks. They are using mobile banking. So again, this is a very good example of disruption. When it comes to renewables, earlier on we used to rely on this big grid, and this was one of the main reasons why so many villages of our country, they were living in 18th century. Right, even in today's era, they were living in 18th century because they were not having access to electricity, and this is because we were still, following the same old model of generating electricity using this thermal power plants and then distributing it, and losses and so many things do take place. You need huge amount of capital as well. But now we have renewables like solar power, the solar panels, and then we have these wind farms and other things, and this can be created in your village as well. So you don't have to rely on see, now you will be arguing that ups and downs. Yes, ups and downs are there, but rather than having no electricity, it is better to have electricity for few hours at least, isn't it? It is better to have something than nothing. So we need a backup of this main electricity grid. For that we have smart grids, but at least this solar or this renewable power generation has disrupted this coal based power industry, and the future of course is a renewable source of energy. Like take example of cloud computing. Earlier on, only big companies, big giants, they used to have this all these facilities of this electronic world, because When I'm saying electronic, I'm talking about a database, and I'm talking about other things that we use nowadays, right? It's quite common because cloud computing has created the situation that you don't need huge amount of capital. You can store your data and other things on cloud computing. So MSMEs can compete with small capital with big giants, and Elon Musk is again a very good example. Tesla, remember, electronic vehicles. What was the attitude or vision of other companies till now? They were just producing new models and new vehicles, faster and bigger and more mileage and different shape and SUVs, and I can go on and on. They were focused on only just one type of cars, right? Diesel and petrol, and that's it. But Elon Musk came out with this Tesla company, electronic vehicle, and now this disruption has pushed other car makers to think about EVs. Now we need something like this in this air conditioning world as well. When I'm saying air conditioning world, I'm talking about this air conditioning industry. They are also known as officially RACs, or room air conditioners. Do you know this fact that ACs were invented some 100 years ago? But if you go through the history of ACs and where we are at present, we find that changes have been just incremental ones. We used to get like old model ACs, and then for a very long period of time we used to have this window ACs, and then we have this split and cassettes and small ACs, and there are so many different types of ACs available. But basic function, or the way they are working, basic thing is still the same, right? We like from a normal ceiling fan or a table fan, from fan to AC is a big jump. But when it comes to AC, right, it's still the same, just like fans, right? We have table fan and then we have ceiling fans. So you can have different design, but the basic thing is just, it's a fan, isn't it? Now with ACs, we know that they are quite thirsty in the sense they require huge amount of power. And what we are finding now is that these companies, right, there are a handful of companies who are in this business, and they are spending huge amount of money after advertisements rather than research and development. As per IEA, that is International Energy Agency, at present the market is $100 billion, and in nearly 30 years, or by 2050, it will grow 4 times. One of the reasons is that climate change is taking place. Global warming is something, it's a reality at present, and nowadays, because of a little bit of affluency that we have seen in our country, because of this thing, ACs are something like in developing countries, right, developing world, RACs are picking up, but the demand of ACs are going up, particularly in tropical countries. And nowadays in few countries, like say for example in UK as well, there are few people who are going ahead with ACs for summertime. But there was a time when they used to enjoy the summer, but now they need ACs. So in UK as well. So you can imagine that this global warming is taking a toll, and because of this thing, now we cannot stop people to purchase AC, and it's not going to work as well. People will buy it and they will create it, but rather than that, we need more R&D. We can make it a bit more eco-friendly, because the thing is, just imagine from 1750s till now, on an average, the global temperature has gone up to more than 1 degree Celsius. And 1 degree Celsius, we know how much bad this 1 degree addition has been. Look at Gudge, look at Kerala's situation, look at the floods and droughts and other things that are taking places. So many flora and fauna are dying every single day because of this climate change and other things that are created by human beings. So just 1 degree Celsius can destroy or can create this sort of destruction. Then just imagine just one product, right? Room air conditioners are going to be responsible for 0.5 degrees Celsius by the end of century. We cannot afford to have this sort of instruments or this sort of machines around us. So we need to do something about it, isn't it? As per International Labour Organization, ILO, it estimates that by 2030, worldwide, there will be a loss of $2 trillion as far as this labor productivity is concerned. In hot days, in summer times, you cannot work outdoors. There is heat wave going on, and this thing was something that was not visible, or that was not there. Means the heat waves have always been there, but it was not that common, some 10-12 years ago. But now it is every summer we find heat waves taking place, and so many people are dying as well. And now we are more aware about it, so we are not allowing, basically government has issued this notification that you cannot execute outdoor activities, labor work and other things during afternoon time, and this is creating, you can say, loss of earning for so many people who are, generally speaking, not doing that well as far as their economic and financial world is concerned. India's economy alone stands to lose $450 billion, not to mention the 200 million Indians exposed to dangerous heat conditions each year. So we need some radical changes as far as this RACs is, or this industry is concerned. If we go through other industries like commercial LED, we have seen that 70% theoretical efficiency has been achieved. Solar panels, 40% of things have changed, and if you compare it, then the change is 40%. But in last 100 years, in air conditioners, what we find is that the change has just been 14%. There is a thing called Kigali Cooling Efficiency Program, and as per this program, and this is a very important information, so pay attention, that as per this Kigali Cooling Efficiency Program, a collaborative commitment of $52 million will be given to developing countries so that they can move to energy efficient, climate friendly and affordable cooling solutions. So this is a very important initiative. There are countries like South Korea and Japan. They have introduced new ways of using air conditioners. They have introduced new ways of manufacturing of air conditioners. Like, I'll give you example of Japan. In Japan, if you purchase an AC, right, your AC will not means the minimum temperature that you can set is 28 degrees Celsius. Now 28 degrees Celsius is not bad. It's a very pleasant temperature, room temperature, if it is 28 degrees Celsius. But what is happening is in our country, say for example, you can take it down to some 16 degrees Celsius if I'm not wrong, and 16 degree is something that is not required. It will drink so much of your electricity, and it will add more temperature in the environment as well. So these are a few steps that Japan has taken. Like, Japan has also introduced a bit of change as well, that during summertime it's not required in Japan to wear too many heavy suits and other clothes. So you can have a sort of t-shirts and cotton pants and things like that, so that you don't need that much of air conditioning. So you can see here, like, a small step, but a big change can be achieved. So Global Cooling Innovation Summit took place in Delhi, and the main theme was to develop a cooling technology that requires radically less energy to operate, utilize refrigerants with no ozone depletion potential, and with low global warming potential, and has the potential to be cost effective at scale. So all these things were discussed, and good thing about our country is that Government of India has declared this thing that if someone comes out with a sort of breakthrough in cooling solutions, then that particular company or individual will be awarded with a prize of $3 million, which is not a small amount. With this, dear friends, let's go through some news items, and then we will talk about INS Arihant. We have so many news items on board today, so I'm going to be as quick as possible. All those items that are going to be more important, we'll talk more about it. We'll do a little bit of in-depth analysis. Some items are just a few updates for you guys. So here you can see on your screen, we have one small item from Ministry of Chemicals and Fertilizers. Now, interesting thing for new students here is that Union Minister of Statistics and Program Implementation. So a minister, D.V. Sadanand Gowda, he is Minister of Statistics and Program Implementation. Now he has assumed charge of Ministry of Chemicals and Fertilizers as well. So this is not that he has left this ministry and he has joined this one. He has taken this one as an additional ministry. So this is something that is possible, right? One person can look after, or that is possible that he or she can be main minister for various different ministries. So this is something that is allowed. One more thing that I would like to add here is that even if you are not a MP, that is Member of Parliament, then as well you can become minister, but the only condition is that within the next 6 months you have to win election from any constituency in India, right? So this is a small yet important thing for for those new students, right, who have just started preparing for civil services or various different exams, in which polity is an important subject. Now, the Ministry of Drinking, Water and Sanitation, again a very important subject. Northeastern states held their regional review meeting in Guwahati, that is in Assam, and open defecation free status, solid and liquid waste management, and rural water supply. These were three important topics of discussion during this meeting. And we have our secretary called Parmeshwaran Iyer. He is main bureaucrat as far as this Ministry of Drinking Water and Sanitation is concerned. His entry has been lateral entry. If you go through his personal profile, you will find that he was, if I'm not wrong, he was an IAS officer. Then he left the job and he went to USA and he was working there. And for, he was always interested in working in this. Sanitation is a subject that is a bit dear to him, close to his heart. And when Modi government came in, then the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan was introduced, and then Mr. Iyer's name was suggested by someone, and Prime Minister or the government of India appointed him, took him on board, and it was a big moment for Parmeshwaran Iyer as well. This was the thing that he was, it's something that is close to his heart, and he always wanted to work in this field. And so just a bit of personal story of Mr. Parmeshwaran Iyer. And the reason why I'm discussing this thing is because it's been many years, right? I have read so many articles written by Parmeshwaran Iyer, and every time I find that this person has got the skills to write articles. And if you go through his one or two articles, then you find so many details about so many things. And in future, if I'll find his article, then I will of course share it with you guys, so you can update yourselves with this latest reports and latest figures from this Ministry of Sanitation and drinking water and sanitation. And it's important for your examination as well, because there are high chances that you can be asked a question on Swachh Bharat Abhiyan or waste and wealth and so many things, right? So Sikkim is a state of our country that has been declared as the first ODF state of our country. Assam shared highlights of Mission Sambhav, under which more than 1 lakh pit digging activities were initiated in a single day, and this is something that will be replicated in other parts of northeastern states as well. Now we have a small yet important thing. You can relate this thing with climate change. A cyclonic storm Gaj has created havoc, particularly in our state of Tamil Nadu. And you can see here that Gaj is declared as a severe cyclonic storm, right? Severe cyclonic storm. The capacity is, or the wind speed is 88 to 117 kilometer per hour. And you can see here that if it is somewhere between 118 to 117, then it can create huge amount of damage as well. Then you have this various different categories as well: minimal damage, moderate, and this sort of categories are given. So wind speeds, and it will also bring water with it, as you can see here. It's very scientific, very logical that high winds or speedy winds will passing over your water bodies. Then it will of course bring some water with it. And this water related natural disasters are a bit dangerous, because once a storm is over, you have the second inning of disease and other sort of outbreaks. So a small yet important update. Then we have one more update about our visa regime, or electric visa facility that is provided by Government of India to practically all the countries of the world. Foreign nationals of 166 countries can now enjoy the facility of this facility of electronic or e-visa at 26 airports and 5 seaports. India has a robust visa regime, and this is helping us in medical tourism. It is helping us in normal tourism. So many people can come here for business, for investment, and so for students as well. So this has been a big change. Bureau of Immigration generally decides within 24 to 48 hours whether an individual or a group will get a visa or not. And this popularity of e-visa is skyrocketing as well. If you go through the figures, then we find that in 2015, 4.47 lakhs visas were issued, e-visas, and in 2017 it has gone up to 17 lakh. And look at the figures of 2018 so far. 18.78 lakhs, and still the year is gone. We got one more month through. This is still 30th October, so if we calculate, add 2 more months, then we can, I believe, easily cross 20 lakhs. So of course it is skyrocketing. Now 2 new categories are added as well. One is e-conference and the other one is e-medical attendant. E-visa is now available for tourists, business, medical, conference, as well as medical attendant. They too can get this visa. Then you have this FFRO facility where you can extend your visa from, it has been extended from 60 to 90 days. This empowered now, this local FRRO is empowered that he or she can, this office can issue visa of up to 90 days. And in case if you are living here, if you are a foreigner, I'm just giving you one example. If a foreigner is living here in our country for a bit of time now, and he or she would like to extend visa, then they don't have to run from here to there or post to post. They can just apply it online. So that's a very easy thing. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has congratulated our ISRO scientists because they have successfully launched GSAT 29 satellite with the help of this GSLV Mark 3 D2. This is a very important news item again, because it is GSAT 29 is the heaviest satellite of our country, and it is the heaviest satellite launched by our country so far. So these are 2 firsts here, and it's very important piece of news. There are chances that you can be asked a question about GSAT or particularly GSLV Mark III and technologies used in it, like 3 types of propellants are used, cryogenic technologies used, and all these sort of things. We have already discussed about these things, so I'm just giving you some sort of food for thought for you guys to revise. Now the satellite, this GSAT 29, is important because it will provide extraordinary communication as well as internet services to remotest corners of our country, particularly northeastern states and some parts of Ireland and other places. Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs has got a very important update for us, and the most important portion is here. We have this thing called RERA. It's been a second year of implementation of RERA. And good thing about RERA is that if we go through this latest World Bank report of this Ease of Doing Business Index, then our rank, I'm sure we all are aware about this thing, that last year our rank was 100. At present it is 77. And the biggest gain we have got is in construction permit, because our rank was 181. But now we are at a 52nd position as far as this construction permit delivery is concerned. So that's a big jump for our construction industry, particularly after introduction of RERA. We have last news item, and then we will talk about our second special topic of the day, that is about INS Arihant. So Ministry of Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution has got a small but important information about this World Standards Day that was celebrated on 15th of November, and the world is celebrating it since 1970s. As you can see here, International Electrotechnical International Organization of Standardization, ISO, and International Telecommunications Union, ITU. Together, these 3, you can say, this important institutions jointly celebrate this particular event throughout the world. Standards work in real world is something that is, it is evaluated, and how we can standardize things, and best practices can be replicated, or it can be penetrated in different parts of the world. These are some of the important things that are discussed on this day. Now we have last topic as well as second special topic of the day. It is about INS Arihant. By the end of this discussion, you will realize why INS Arihant is important for our country. INS Arihant is a 600-ton SSBN, that is a ship submersible ballistic nuclear submarine. And now nuclear submarine is not just that it can carry ballistic missiles with nuclear warheads. So this is about its arsenal or weaponry. But when it comes to its operation, or you can say the engine, all right, if I can put it in this way, that will make you it will make a bit easier for you to understand. We have 2 types of submarines, right? One is powered by diesel, right? The fuel is diesel, and the other one, this SSBNs, are submarines like this one. INS Arihant has 83 megawatt pressurized light water reactor. So it has a proper nuclear reactor in it, and the energy produced for running this submarine is basically works on nuclear energy. So when you are using a diesel submarine, diesel requires oxygen for combustion, and so you have to come up and down. You have to go up and down, isn't it? You have to come to surface to grab some oxygen, and then you can dive in back. But with this nuclear submarines, you don't have to do that thing. So for a very long period of time, you can stay there underwater. So that's good in terms of defense as well as safety feature is concerned. And this operation, this indigenous nuclear submarine, this whole project began in late 1990s, and it's good that finally we have executed this nuclear triad. Nuclear triad means now we can launch nuclear weapons using our land, using our air, as well as using our water, or from underwater as well. We can use or launch nuclear weapons or nuclear missiles. That's a big thing. This Arihant has got K missiles, K series missiles, and K stands for Abdul Kalam. So it has got K-15. It's the name of a missile, and the range of K-15 is 750. In future, we are going to get some more Ks, and we are targeting to achieve 3,000 to 4,000 kilometer range. Arihant stands for, the meaning is slayer of the enemy, and indeed it is a slayer of enemy because it has got nuclear ballistic missiles. 5th November 2018 was indeed a red letter as well as historic day for our country, as we have finished our deterrent patrol and achieved this nuclear triad. You know what nuclear triad is all about. Now security challenge for our country is a bit unique because we have two neighbors. One is Pakistan and the other is China, and here we are practically in between both these neighbors, and both these neighbors, they are nuclear powers. As far as China is concerned, we have talked about this thing that its penetration in Indian Ocean is something that is a matter of concern for India. Somewhere around 7 to 8 submarines are there. Chinese submarines are loitering in this part of Indian Ocean, and this is a security threat for our country. They are saying that they are doing it to stop this piracy, so it's more about anti-piracy patrols. That's what they are saying since 2013. But we know that it's just a sort of a mask that they are covering. It's also, apart from anti-piracy measures, they are also trying to create a sort of pressure on our country. So this sort of submarine is going to be very good for us, and the most important thing about this submarine is its opaqueness. It can stay there in water for a very long period of time. The second thing is submarines are important because just in case, God forbid, but if we are attacked by any country with the help of nuclear weapons, and if our land as well as air nuclear capabilities are destroyed, then we have this last chance, and this works very well. It's considered as it's practically impossible to catch up with this type of submarines, right? You cannot find them and hunt them down. So that's why this particular introduction of INS Arihant and this nuclear triad is important. And we have also, this our country has also developed this National Command Authority, has also developed a very unique layer of communication. Because you need to stay in touch with INS submarine, this SSBN submarines. They are there for a very long period of time, so communication channels should be up to the mark, and they should be top of the range. And we have developed this thing indigenously for our INS submarine. By 2022, it is said that we are going to have this 4 more submarines will be there in Indian Ocean. So that's everything in today's discussion. You can download the PDF of today's lecture from my FB page and Twitter handle. Please make sure that you share this lecture with other students as well. Dear friends, rest assured, in no time, in a forthcoming future, I will make sure that this backlog is finished as soon as possible, and will be again back to normal. So thank you very much for your love and support. I'll see you tomorrow. Till then, enjoy your studies. God bless you all. Jai Hind.